It was definitely a wild week in WWE, all starting with the very disappointing Extreme Rules pay-per-view that WWE dubbed the Horror Show. It's not surprising to me, but it might be surprising to everybody else on social media that refuses to say anything bad about the actual product nowadays. It actually lived up to its name, and again, I'm not surprised that it actually did end up being a horror show. We go into Monday Night Raw. WWE doesn't make sense of anything, really, even though it wasn't that bad of a show. Things coming out of Monday Night Raw just have no explanation to them. And then obviously, come Tuesday, the ratings reach the second all-time low in the history of Monday Night Raw. Vince McMahon reportedly doesn't give a shit about the ratings right now. He thinks that they're going to get better. I have a wake-up call for Vince McMahon. They're not. They're not. In fact, they're going to get much, much worse. But how long can Fox and the USA Network continue telling themselves, listen, we're going to give you the benefit of the doubt? How long before they start getting upset at the ratings and at WWE not doing what they are supposed to do as far as giving an actual product, an engaging product, an interesting product on Monday and Friday night? We're going to talk about that, including this clown, Booker T, SUCKA, 5-time a sucker, Booker T, 5-time a loser, Booker T. Says Naomi doesn't deserve anything, and we're going to go over what Booker T said about Naomi, about the Naomi deserves a chance hashtag. We're going to talk about it all and so much more right here for episode 336, part number 1, to start your weekend off the right way, the only way I know how, man, right here on Off the Script.
5, delete! This is mine.
Alive with it. People still What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is episode 336, part number 1 to start your weekend off the right way. Today, sponsored by my good friends over at Blue Chew. BlueChew.com. Make sure you guys are doing the greater good in the bedroom. We'll talk about them a little bit later, but thank you guys so much for joining me on yet another episode of the podcast. It's going to be a good one, man. You don't want to miss anything that we got here today. On top of it all, I got news coming out of Extreme Rules. Kevin Dunn is upset. What else is new? Maybe he doesn't have any wood. Maybe he lost his toothbrush. I don't know what he's upset about, but we'll try and figure it out right here on the podcast. We'll go over that and everything else coming out of Extreme Rules. Where was Apollo Cruz? What did Vince McMahon think of the horror show that was the eye for an eye match? What did Vince McMahon think of the swamp fight with Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman? A lot to cover here on the show, so it's going to be a good one, guys. A programming note. Come Monday, you guys may see, again, a different background. I know I keep springing the different backgrounds on you guys. This is my office. This is my new apartment. Okay? Now, come Monday, I am actually going to be on vacation. Everything that you see here and all weekend was filmed ahead of time so that I don't have to worry about anything on Saturday. I don't have to worry about anything on Sunday. And then I work Monday with Raw, obviously. And then Tuesday. And then Wednesday, I'll be doing AEW. Thursday, I'll be doing NXT. And then Thursday night, I'll be home to get ready for a new weekend here. But I'm going to be working Monday Night Raw, AEW Dynamite, and NXT TV from a remote location on vacation. I am going up to Cooperstown. I am going up to Niagara Falls, and I'm going to be doing things that I've always wanted to do. A, visit the Ommegang Brewery, being that Ommegang is my favorite brewery in all of the land. And I'm going to be visiting them, and I'm going to be hopefully uncovering new brews. So that's that, number one. Number two, I'm going to the Baseball Hall of Fame, being that baseball has finally graced us with a season, a abbreviated season. Go Braves. I'm going to be visiting the Baseball Hall of Fame. And then I'm going to be trekking up to Niagara Falls, obviously, to visit Niagara Falls, but I actually am going on a ghost hunt expedition in Niagara Falls, which, if you guys know anything about me, I am a huge fan of the paranormal, and I'm going to be doing some ghost hunting. I'm going to be bringing some of the equipment that I've personally purchased myself. It's going to be a big expedition. I don't know where. I think it's a remote location somewhere in Niagara Falls. I don't know the specifics of it, but I'm going to be joining a group of people, a professional ghost adventure crew. Not the actual ghost adventures, I wish, but an actual ghost hunting crew. And we're going to be investigating a very haunted location up in Niagara Falls. We're going to have all sorts of scientific devices. There's actually going to be drinks on hand, I believe, because the place that we're going to, I believe, is a bar. I don't know if the bar is haunted or not, but they will be serving alcohol, which is always a good thing for me. And then we're going to be going on the ghost expedition, which I can't wait for, man. It's always something I wanted to do, and I did it way back in the day when I lived in New Jersey. I always used to visit these haunted locations in New Jersey, whether it be graveyards or whether it be abandoned houses that I did some research on that were haunted. And I've always found an interest in the paranormal. I was a big fan of what the Taps team did. Jason Hawes, I believe, and Grant Wilson over at Ghost Hunters didn't really like the show all that often as it aged because I felt like they weren't really exciting enough for me. And then that's where I found Zach Bagans, and that's where I found Ghost Adventures. Whatever you guys think about Zach Bagans and Ghost Adventures, whatever, man. Seriously, it's my thing. I really enjoy it. Some people call him a fraud. Some people think he's a fake. Some people think it's all staged. But I do believe in the paranormal because I've had a couple of experiences myself. Not only doing it myself and investigating myself, but I've had several, I don't want to say several, I've had a couple of experiences in some of the places that I used to live back when I lived in New Jersey for the first time. And it was really eye-opening to me. So I've always wanted to do something like that, and I'm going to get the chance to do that. And maybe I'll film some, maybe I'll upload it to Twitter, maybe I'll do some Instagram stuff, maybe I'll upload it to the channel. I don't know yet, man. I got to see how it is and how it operates, and I got to take in the entire feel of what a real ghost expedition feels like. But I'm a big fan of the paranormal, and that's what I'm going to be doing. So regardless of all that, Monday's Raw is going to be filmed at a remote location. I may actually be live. I will have good internet where I'm going. I've made sure of that. And I might be live for Monday Night Raw. I will keep you guys posted on that. I might be live for NXT and AEW. I just might do everything live just to get everything out of the way. So hopefully you guys join me then. And if you're wondering, why isn't JD in his normal office? He just moved. Now he moved to a different location. No, I'm just going to be going away for a couple of days. I think I deserve it. I work my ass off doing what I do here, and I think I deserve a little R&R. So just want to let you guys know on the slight programming notes or the environment that I'll be in, because it's not going to be the same as you see it now. So I wanted to make sure you guys were aware. But I'm going to make you guys aware about all the news happening in the WWE, man. It's going to be a big show. I'm excited to get this show underway. A lot of people ask me about my thoughts on Booker T and what he said about Naomi. The hashtag is Naomi deserves better, or Naomi deserves a chance. Whatever you guys are tweeting on social media about Naomi. In fact, WWE actually just put out a little, I guess, teaser clip, or not a clip, but a picture. Naomi's going to be on Miz TV, and they're hyping her appearance on SmackDown after losing to Lacey Evans on last week's SmackDown in just one of the most ridiculous ways possible. I mean, this woman went through sitting in catering for months on end, not doing anything. She was featured in WrestleMania, which she's lucky she got that. And then all of a sudden, coming out of WrestleMania, she was off TV. Why? I don't know. They have no women on that show. You would think that they would immediately go to Naomi to use her as a way to kind of further the women's division on that show. Nope. They left her in catering, and they left her there, and they obviously forgot that she was there. They might have forgotten that she was actually employed with the company. I don't know. How you don't use a woman like Naomi on your roster is just mind-boggling to me. It really is. How stupid could you be? So, Naomi, WrestleMania, after WrestleMania, nothing. And then she gets put in a karaoke segment, which was god-awful, with Tamina and Lacey Evans, and I'm missing one. Who is she? Catering. You know catering. She's great. All she does is a backflip elbow into the corner. Catering. Seriously. And then she goes on to a one-on-one match with Lacey Evans with situations that happened in that karaoke match that led to that match last week. And she lost because she got her braids, her hair, tied up in the rope. And she was struggling to get out. She got out, turned around, and walked right into a loser's right by Lacey Evans. And that's Naomi. So when you want to think about Naomi's 2020, folks, I just detailed it for you in oh so many words. Does she deserve that? Absolutely not. So we're going to go over what Booker T said about that. And they're hyping her appearance on SmackDown tonight on Miz TV. What is she going to say? What is she going to say? Now, WWE clearly is using this because Naomi is now in the news. Naomi's name is circulating on social media. And WWE is putting her on TV now because people are asking for it. Too little, too late. They're only using Naomi because people have now been asking for it and getting Naomi's name trending on social media. And then that was further exacerbated by the idiotic comments of Booker T and what he said on his podcast. So why is WWE putting Naomi on television? Because now they have to. Remember, folks, they have to now. They don't want to put Naomi on TV because they want to. If they wanted to, she would have been on TV all year in a prominent role, doing what she does best. But that's not the case now, is it? Please don't get the two confused. WWE has a long history about treating black professional wrestlers in their company in a very minimal role. They keep putting them in minimal roles. They keep downgrading them when we all know that some of these talents, not all of them are good, not all of them deserve the utmost opportunities, but Naomi is of an upper echelon type of talent that has been absolutely squandered in this company, and there's nobody that's going to convince me that she's not getting what she wants and she's not getting the opportunity that she deserves because of any other reason but her skin color. I mean that wholeheartedly. It's not the first time I've said that about a black female performer or a black performer in WWE, period. Why do you think Apollo Crews is doing what he's doing now? WWE was forced to push Apollo Crews because of what was going on in the world today. And now because Vince McMahon is back and Paul Heyman is not there, Vince doesn't want Apollo Crews. Why doesn't he want Apollo Crews? Who the fuck who runs a wrestling promotion doesn't want Apollo Crews in a prominent role in the mid-card or give Apollo Crews an opportunity in the company because of, I don't know, talent? Work with him. Work on his weaknesses. Get his weaknesses to be strengths. Where's the patience? Where's the care from WWE management? Oh, I got a lot to say about this. Booker T actually made another idiotic comment. This one went right underneath everybody's nose. This one went off the radar. But he made another idiotic comment about Dolph Ziggler. And if Dolph Ziggler didn't show off so much, he would be the next Roman Reigns. Or he could have been the next Roman Reigns. He could have been a Randy Orton. Could have been Shawn Michaels. But he showed off too much. Booker T's mentality is that of a simpleton and a legend that doesn't know any better. his mentality is of a legend that's living in the now times. And he's thinking of the older times when he was still a pro wrestler and when they did things the way that they did things. So we're going to go over that, man. I got a lot to say. And we got Extreme Rules stuff. We got Vince McMahon stuff. We got rating stuff. We got Raw stuff, SmackDown stuff. We got Fox and USA Network being upset. Loaded show. Absolutely loaded show. Follow me on social media. At JD from NY206. That's on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. If you guys want to check out all the other videos that I might have missed, I link every playlist on the channel down below. If you missed the Monday Night Raw video, it's in the playlist. Go check it out. You missed the Dynamite review, it's in the playlist. Go check it out. You missed the NXT review, it's in the playlist. Go check it out. So on and so forth, guys. So thank you very much for all the support. We are on our way to 118,000 subscribers. Keep it up. You guys are going to get us there sooner rather than later. I got new merchandise out, man. New t-shirt. Doing God's work. I got another one in the works as well. My boy Mikey is doing a new Negan design because Negan was the savior. He was the savior of his particular group on The Walking Dead. And I am the savior of the YWC. Yes. Cocky? Absolutely. If I wasn't cocky and I didn't know I was good, I wouldn't be here. Doing God's work is one of the newest designs. Go and get it today. Link will be down, pinned in the comments section at the very top. If you enjoy that shirt, if you like that shirt, go and pick one up. It's available now on Bonfire. I'm working with Bonfire again. I love their quality, and there's no reason for me to change a good thing. So go and get it and support the podcast, man. Every shirt counts towards helping out the podcast and making what I do here much better, man. So I appreciate all of you guys for all of the supports. Also, Patreon. If you guys want to support the podcast via Patreon, you guys know what to do there. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. Hit that thumbs up. And I want to shout out a couple of people right now that I was looking at before I hit the record button today. These are all 5-star reviews on iTunes and Spotify, man. Keep it up. We are almost at 900 reviews on Spotify and iTunes. iTunes specifically. Spotify, I don't really know what the charts are or what the deal is with Spotify podcasts, but I'm on there. If you guys opt to listen to the podcast via the audio platform. But on iTunes, man, we are almost at 900, and we're pretty much a 5-star rated podcast on iTunes. So if you guys keep that up, man, it's going to go a long way in helping out the podcast on the iTunes charts. I want to shout out Loquacious. I want to shout out Adriel. I want to shout out Phil, Loyal OTS Listener 15, Leroy Irvin. I want to shout out Chris 2010-2005, Kit 7634. We got Jay Carpenter 88, Onion Knight. I'm not a fan of onions, but I'm a fan of you, bro. Thank you very much. We got Grecian 83, Mr. Honda 34. We got Philly Gamer Guy, and we got Harry from Long Island. Also Gina M, J Kid 56, Justin 824, and Ricardo Linnell. Thank you guys so very much for all of the 5-star reviews on iTunes. Keep it up, guys. You are awesome, and I love you. Thank you for the support. Let's get into the show, man. Enough of me blabbing about paranormal and this and that. Yeah, where's the news? I'm coming, man. Don't worry. Booker T says Naomi deserves better. And the hashtag Naomi deserves better. Or actually, I'm sorry. But Booker T should be saying Naomi deserves better. Booker T says the Naomi deserves better hashtag. And he says, and I quote, can go to hell. Those were his exact words on her. This week on the Hall of Fame podcast, Booker T gave his thoughts on some of the news from the last few days, including what happened at the horror show known as Extreme Rules, and the Give Naomi a Chance hashtag that was trending on Friday night after Naomi was booked to lose to loser Evans. This is what Booker T had to say about Naomi and the hashtag from Friday. They can go to hell with all these hashtags as far as I am concerned. Nobody deserves a chance, all right? I think that's what got people. I think that line is what got people. Nobody deserves a chance, says Booker T. Continuing on. First and foremost, you have to earn your chance and your spot on the roster. How long has she been there? Got to be close to a decade, right? Maybe 8 years, 9 years. She doesn't deserve a chance after being with the company and being loyal to the company after close to a decade. She doesn't deserve a chance. Interesting. Absolutely interesting. This is not some movement just to pull somebody up, just because. I hate to sit here and say this and talk this way because I like Naomi. Really. You like Naomi so much so that you say her hashtag for her fans backing her up because everybody's known for years that she's been treated like garbage. You said that you like Naomi, but said her fan base and her fans sticking up for her via a hashtag can go to hell. But you like Naomi. Very interesting comments, Mr. T. Now, he says I like Naomi. But as far as the business goes, you get yours on your merits alone. That's it. It's no buddy system. It's no buddy system, huh? Well, it might not be a buddy system, but WWE is one of the most political systems in all of the land. It is one of the most corrupt and political situations in all of pro wrestling. In the world, maybe. They like who they like. They push who they want. And everybody else, if you don't fit their agenda, or if you don't fit their look, if you're not blonde, we've said this time and time again. I don't have to talk about this. I don't have to mention it, but I'm going to mention it here again anyway. If you're not, especially if you're a woman. If you're not blonde, if you don't have plastic, made of plastic, mostly plastic, if you don't look like you're in Toys R Us, in the toy aisle, on the shelf, and you're in a box, right, and you're nicely packaged, and it says Barbie on it, you ain't going to get pushed. You ain't going to get another look from WWE management until you rectify something that they want. Either go blonde or go and get some enhancements or go and get this or go and get that. You ain't going to go anywhere. This is why Naomi is one of many women in that company that aren't going anywhere because for whatever reason. In this case, it's not so much that Naomi isn't a Barbie doll. She's a very beautiful woman. But it's the simple fact that Naomi is a woman of color here. Okay? And that's all that matters to the situation. Naomi is a woman of color. And WWE are a bunch of idiots. They are foolish for not pushing Naomi, especially now in a time where you look at Naomi and how powerful of a statement she could make by being on TV and being a leader of that women's division. I mean, give me a break. Just by who she is and what she represents, you don't want to put her on TV? I have a feeling my cat's going to jump on the fucking table. Hey, this is off the script, people. I got my fucking cat roaming around. He's going to jump on the fucking table. But Naomi's a woman of color. And if you don't think that she can make a statement by being on TV, you are mental. It shows how out of touch they are with her audience, with their audience by not pushing her. It's ridiculous. So he likes Naomi, but it's not a buddy system. Yes, it's a political system. It's an agenda. I know somebody is going to hear me and say, well, such and that, why are they doing it? Yes, that may be true, but life is not fair. Sometimes you have to make your own breaks. Sometimes you have to go out there and rise to the occasion when no one else thought you could. It may not happen overnight. How do you expect her to go and do that when she's not given the opportunity to go out there and rise to the occasion? What, do you want her to book herself? Do you want her to go into the ring and wrestle and make matches on her own? What are you talking about? Naomi hasn't done enough in her 8-9-year career for someone in there to open their fucking eyes? This guy already, I'm not even done halfway through with what this guy said. This guy sounds like a blithering fucking clown already. Sometimes you gotta make your own breaks. It may not happen overnight. Well, this is one long overnight stay, you fucking dummy. No one expected me, including myself, to become a 6-time world champion. I'm sure you politicked your way there too. But my persistence as far as going out to the middle of that ring and performing better than all those suckers. Yes, this is his statement online. via his podcast. I'm going out in the middle of the ring and performing better than all those suckers in the locker room. And the suckers in the locker room knew it. The fans saw something different, and the signs were there for Booker T on a nightly basis. That's why I say hashtag Naomi deserves a chance or deserves better. I don't think that serves her any purpose. In 2020, it doesn't serve her any fucking purpose. People advocating for her in that way, the way that needs to be put out there from an advocating perspective, is her advocating for herself when she goes out to the ring and performs at a high level in the world season. I am dumbfounded about how stupid this guy sounds right now, honestly. Oh my God. When you do that to Naomi, you can't be denied. She's been denied for 9 years, sucker. Please, no one will ever say someone gave you anything. If it happens right now, tomorrow, somebody bless Naomi with the world championship, trust me, would not feel like she did it on her own. It would have to be a movement for something like that to happen. I would never want the world title if it was given to me that way. Naomi, I've said it 1,000 times, is probably more athletic than any female in that locker room and 99% of the females in this business. But psychology and working are two different things. I hope and I wish that I had my hands on her for 1 month. Naomi would look at this business in a totally different way. End quote. Where do I even begin with this? I don't even know where to begin because it's just filled with just stupidity. It's riddled with stupidity throughout this entire quote taken from his podcast. Folks, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't AJ Lee start, or the fans rather, and AJ Lee kind of just got everybody at the starting line to just shoot 1,000 miles up to the finish line with this thing. Wasn't the hashtag Give Divas a Chance trending? Didn't it get the attention of Stephanie McMahon to the point where we seen the beginning stages of the women's revolution or the evolution of women's wrestling in WWE? How do you think the entire landscape of women's pro wrestling was changed? It was changed with a hashtag. The power of the hashtag, I tell people when they come to me and say, well, man, JD, you got almost 31,000, just about 31,000 followers on Twitter. That's not a big number looking at all the other bigger people in and around the wrestling business. For somebody like me that's paved his own way and did things his way without really any help doing what I'm doing here. This is a self-made project here. And this is why I'm so damn proud of what I do on a daily basis. But I always tell people, use social media. Social media is your best friend. Yes, social media could be a fucking shithole of negativity, but if you use the hashtags that you need to properly, and you use the power of the hashtag for the greater good, then you're going to go a long way. This is why I'm so prominent on social media. This is why I have huge retention and huge audiences on social media. When I tweet something, people react. When I tweet something, people listen. The power of a hashtag goes a very long way, and it went a long way for the women's revolution in the WWE. Without a hashtag to get behind every woman in that company that was being suppressed, we wouldn't have what we have right now. WWE would still be operating the same way that they always do. Big tits, big ass, blonde, Barbie dolls, models who can't wrestle. It's a TNA show. Tit and ass show is what the women's division would look like in WWE without a hashtag. So please continue to tell me, SUCKA, how hashtags are not supposed to be used. And in this case with Naomi, shouldn't be used to maybe open the eyes of fucking dummies in WWE that obviously are fucking blind. Now, I'm not sure if it was a hashtag when it happened, but the fan base was more loud than anything I could possibly ever imagine when Daniel Bryan was ascending the heights of WWE in 2014. WWE didn't listen to anybody. WWE has a serious problem without listening to their fucking fan base. They just look at their fan base and take everybody to be a goddamn idiot. They didn't listen to their fan base. 2014, WrestleMania 30 was supposed to be Randy Orton versus Batista for the World Heavyweight Championship. Batista was supposed to win the Royal Rumble. I mean, if you think people were going to be okay with that, there's something mentally wrong with you. That's what Vince McMahon wanted. Vince McMahon brought in Batista that month. Batista then stated that he was going to be in the Royal Rumble. There was nobody in that match that you could have believed in to win that Royal Rumble outside of Dave Batista. Daniel Bryan wasn't even in that Royal Rumble. And he was the most over guy since The Rock and Steve Austin before him to come along into the WWE. I never seen anything since the Attitude Era in regards to what the fans want than Daniel Bryan and the Yes Movement. How do you think Daniel Bryan got into the main event of WrestleMania? How do you think Daniel Bryan became the face of the WWE? How do you think Daniel Bryan won the WWE and World Heavyweight Championships in a triple threat match by beating 2/3 of Evolution in the main event, and before that beating Triple H? He beat all of Evolution in one night in one of the greatest moments that this company has ever seen. How do you think that happened? Do you think it happened because WWE gave Daniel Bryan the opportunity because he deserved it? If WWE was going about doing what they wanted, we would have never gotten that. The Yes Movement was born because of the fans. Social media wasn't as big as it was now. It wasn't as prevalent in the WWE product then as it is now. But the fans spoke. The fans spoke. I'll never forget the Monday Night Raw episode where Daniel Bryan was in the cage with Bray Wyatt in Rhode Island. I don't remember where a lot of Monday Night Raws take place. I don't remember anything, especially nowadays, on Monday Night Raw, or the importance of things on Monday Night Raw, but I will always, till the day that I'm in the fucking grave, remember that match. I'll never forget Daniel Bryan shedding the Wyatt family, taking off the jumpsuit, ascending the steel cage, and literally in slow motion, he was doing the Yes Movement. I've never seen people so mesmerized with somebody since I'm getting chills even talking about it, because that's how fucking great that segment is. I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. And there's no air conditioner on here. Daniel Bryan doing the Yes Movement, and everybody in sync, synchronized like it was some Backstreet Boy fucking choreographed garbage, doing the Yes Movement to Daniel Bryan, yelling yes, synchronized, all as one. That's the night that Daniel Bryan solidified his main event in WrestleMania. I don't understand that. I don't understand how Booker T can say hashtags can go to hell, or Naomi deserves better can go to hell. Go to hell with all these hashtags as far as I'm concerned. The power of the hashtag is so powerful. It might not be something that you used back in the day, but I know that when you have kids, if you're listening to me and you're my age or younger, I don't have kids yet, but I will have kids in the future. Hashtags, I'm going to tell everybody when I'm an old fuck, when I'm 60, 70 years old, hey, you know what I used to do back in the day? Why don't you complain about it on social media and use the hashtag? It's exactly what I'm going to tell the youngins when, they come claiming that I'm an old man. What do I know? It might be different when I'm 60, 70 years old. I don't know. Twitter may be dead. Instagram may be dead. Facebook may be finished. But I know back in my day when I'm that age, we used hashtags to get across what we want to say. Do you think the speaking out movement that recently happened, that threw the likes of Marty Scurll and Joey Ryan and these NXT UK talents and the Velveteen Dream, this speaking out movement, you think the speaking out movement would have been so powerful to the point of every single wrestling promotion in this country making changes, the appropriate changes to filter out the trash that is pro wrestling, to make changes to make everything better for everybody attending future shows, making everything better for everybody working an independent show, women being equal in that locker room, possibly separate locker rooms with the men and the women, promoters doing what they need to do as far as being a promoter instead of being a sleaze motherfucker. Give me a break. Speaking out movement would not have been that powerful without the power of a hashtag. I don't really understand his logic here. What is the problem with her fan base speaking up for the wrongs that the WWE knows they are doing but don't care to address? Give me a break with the old school, old timer mentality. That's what you did back in the day. This is what we do here in 2020. Naomi deserves better. I don't give a shit what anybody says. I don't give a shit what you think of Naomi. This is my fucking show. You want to go on your show and claim that Naomi doesn't deserve it and you agree with Booker T, or Naomi is a talentless fucking hack who doesn't belong in the business. Give me a fucking break. I know talent when I see it. This is why I got so upset when Bianca Belair spent 3 months sitting in fucking catering. That's why I'm so upset with Shayna Baszler. Just getting opportunities taken away from her. That's why I'm upset when Ruby Riott is not treated the right way. It doesn't matter who you are or what the color of your skin is. You deserve an opportunity because of the talent that you possess. Why the fuck are you even employed by this company if they don't find anything of value in you? They obviously signed you for one reason, because you're a pro wrestler and you do it well. You gotta have some blithering idiots working in that company to know that you got a professional wrestler named Naomi who is great at what she does, and you're not using her right. Now, if this is the case with Booker T, on your merit alone, but as far as the business goes, on your merit alone, it's not a buddy system. Sometimes you have to make your own breaks. Sometimes you gotta rise to the occasion. Go out there and rise to the occasion. How many fucking times has Cesaro risen to the occasion? If that is the way that Booker T says it is, or the way it should be, Cesaro should be a fucking 15-time world champion. Sheamus would be higher than he is. Nakamura should have been a fucking multi-time world champion. Those guys aren't pushed because they're looked down on their ethnic background, the fact that they have accents, the fact that Nakamura is Japanese, he can't speak English the right way, everything to deflect the problem at hand. Oh, we don't got any creative for him. Oh, he's not the type of guy we want in this role. Why? Why? It's right in front of your eyes. Open it up. Open them up. Open your eyes up. Why isn't Naomi getting a chance? Because she's a black female in a white-dominated sport. That's why. The color of her skin has held her back for some reason. Or either that's definitely a reason. Or either that the skin color is the issue, or she is very outspoken. And she's actually stood up for herself, knowing that the company is treating her wrong, and they don't want to do anything about it because she knows that the system is not working in her favor, and the system is intentionally fucking her over, and it's no wrongdoing of her own. They don't like that. They want to muzzle you up, they want to put you in a corner, and then have you wither away until it's time, and they'll give you hope, and they'll have you cling on to, yeah, we're going to push you. Yeah, you're going to get an opportunity. That opportunity never comes, and you're withering away month after month, year after year, till your contract comes up. And then when your contract is in the final fucking weeks, then they want to use you. Oh, please don't go to AEW. Oh, please don't go to this rival promotion. We'll push you. And then they get you on that clinging to hope aspect. They want you to hang your hat on that. Oh, yeah, well, maybe now they see me. Oh, I'm on TV. Look at what they're doing. I'm in a priority role. Oh, look, I'm getting a championship match. Great. She goes home to her husband. Look, honey, they're pushing me. But if I was Naomi's husband, I would say, don't sign that contract. Fuck them. You go make your mark in this business somewhere else where they fucking appreciate you, and not because you have 2 weeks, 3 weeks left on your contract coming up, and now they're scrambling to sign you for a 5-year deal just to give you a hope that something's going to change, and then after you sign that deal, within the first month, you realize that nothing is going to change. Hashtags are powerful, folks, and Booker T is a powerful idiot. Naomi deserves better is something that should be trending and I hope continues to trend because she deserves an opportunity. Fucking Alexa Bliss, fuck a Charlotte Flair, and fuck everybody else that's made of fucking plastic that I could buy at Toys R Us on sale. Fuck the Barbie dollhouse and the fucking Barbie and fucking Ken mentality. Start pushing talent because of talent and stop pushing because of looks. How they don't know what they have in Naomi is ridiculous. A woman that beautiful and a woman that good in a sport that is predominantly white female and white male. Knowing in a business like this where black female performers and black male performers usually get the short end of the stick and their opportunities are less than the average person there. Sometimes they never come. I have a woman like Naomi who could appeal to a wide audience, be the face of that division if need be. Get the attention of an audience that you don't have any idea what to do with or how to get interest from. And you're not using Naomi? What else does she have to do? She has everything you could possibly ask for. Right down to the presentation. Her presentation is flawless. I don't know what else I could say about this. I really don't. And if you don't agree with anything that I'm saying here, man, there really is no hope for you. There's no hope for you. Booker T was not done there. Booker T makes another idiotic comment in regards to Dolph Ziggler. This is the same thing. This is the same situation as Naomi's situation. Dolph Ziggler is definitely an outspoken... I don't even know Dolph Ziggler, obviously. But if I was to be a betting man, I would say Dolph Ziggler is very outspoken about things that he thinks should happen, and those things are not happening. Booker T makes another idiotic comment in regards to Dolph Ziggler. He says this in the same podcast that he talked about Naomi. Booker T's thoughts on Dolph Ziggler, and I quote, Dolph Ziggler has spent a lot of time going out there and just wanting to be the guy to steal the show. Listen, that right there, you could tell Booker T obviously took something beforehand because he is a blithering idiot all through this show. Dolph Ziggler spent a lot of time going out there and just wanting to be the guy to steal the show. If I'm running a business, if I'm running a pro wrestling company and I don't have 15 Dolph Zigglers on my fucking roster, then I'm doing something wrong. You want somebody that's going to go out there and steal the show every single time. If I had 15 Dolph Zigglers wanting to steal the show every single time, that means that I'm going to get a damn good fucking show in the end. That right there doesn't equate to championships a lot of times. Shawn Michaels has been called Mr. WrestleMania for many years, but go back and look at Shawn Michaels' record at WrestleMania. He's lost more than he won at WrestleMania. He stole the show a lot of times, but he didn't win a lot of those matches. Shawn Michaels, unlike Randy Orton, a 14-time world champion, we don't talk about Shawn Michaels' world championships. We talk about Shawn Michaels stealing the show. You have to wonder if Dolph Ziggler wasted a decade plus being the guy wanting to go out there and stealing the show, opposed to winning championships like Roman Reigns. Dolph Ziggler was a guy that wanted to go out and perform better than everybody else, as opposed to going out and being selfish. World champions, those guys are selfish. They have to be in certain frames of certain matches. Not that you are not thinking about your opponent or anything like that, but you have to know how to think about yourself, and you have to know how to get yourself over above all else. I really think Dolph Ziggler, not taking away from anything that Dolph Ziggler has because he's a great worker, but I think Dolph Ziggler in his younger days thought about going out there and being the show stopper. Dolph Ziggler did not get pushed because Dolph Ziggler was somebody that the company clearly wanted to embarrass. Look at the fucking name that they gave him. Dolph Ziggler? Dirk Diggler? Sounds like Dolph Ziggler should be in a fucking porno movie and not a pro wrestling ring. You fucking serious? Dolph went out there, owned the name, owned the ring on every single night, proved that he was one of the best, and still goes out there and proves he's one of the best that the company has. He may be one of the best that has ever done it. He went out there and made Dolph Ziggler. Nick Nemeth went out there and made Dolph Ziggler. In my eyes, the way I see it, Dolph is getting punished because the company tried to bury him for years, for over a decade. And he went out there and proved them wrong every single time. And Dolph Ziggler is to blame because he knows how good he is. WWE doesn't give a shit how good he is. WWE only looks at him as a bench player. Oh, let me plug in Dolph Ziggler here. That's going to be a good match. Dolph Ziggler is never going to be the guy, right? He's always going to be the guy in some circles to do it great, but he's never going to be the guy to win championships, you know? What's that saying? I forgot what the saying was. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride. That's Dolph Ziggler. That is exactly Dolph Ziggler to a T. This is, again, goes back to the Naomi situation. Booker T is mentioning something about Dolph Ziggler in a very old school mentality. Why is Randy Orton getting more opportunities than Dolph Ziggler? It's not that difficult to figure out, folks. Randy Orton's family is wrestling royalty. I don't really understand the comments here. Randy Orton's wrestling royalty. Roman Reigns is wrestling royalty. Shawn Michaels is a Hall of Fame guy. But why is Shawn Michaels and Dolph Ziggler one and the same? Because they went out there and had the same mentality. Shawn Michaels was never supposed to be the guy. WWE looked upon Shawn Michaels because they had nobody else during the time when WCW was having all these guys just go over there. They needed Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels was just gifted the opportunity in a time when they had nobody else. Dolph Ziggler is never going to be the Randy Orton, the Roman Reigns of WWE because he's not cut of that cloth. He's always going to be known for a good wrestler or being a good wrestler. But Dolph Ziggler, with Booker T's comments, same thing with Naomi. It's a very old school mentality that kind of gets lost in translation with people listening. I don't really know what else to say. Dolph Ziggler, way too good for the position that he's doing right now. And WWE didn't really do him any favors. And Dolph Ziggler's nobody to blame but himself. He continues going back for the ease of the schedule that they gave him. He likes that role that he's in. He likes being complacent. That's something within Dolph Ziggler that Dolph Ziggler has to change. And he won't ever admit that. He may be happy there because he loves his friends and he wants to be around his friends and he doesn't know any better. That's his family. It's fine. But deep down somewhere underneath all of that, Dolph Ziggler is complacent. That's something that he needs to figure out how to work on. Because other than that, he's got everything else to succeed. Why hasn't he succeeded? Because he keeps going back and he keeps getting punished in WWE. Dolph Ziggler is nobody to blame but himself. How many of you actually watch Monday Night Raw at 3 hours every single Monday night? By the looks of the ratings, not many of you. Not many of you. On that show, Rollins is talking about the greater good. I still don't know what the greater good of Monday Night Raw is, but I'm here to tell you that whatever Rollins is spewing is absolute bullshit. I am here to talk about the real greater good, and that is Blue Chew. BlueChew.com, and today's podcast is sponsored by my good friends over at Blue Chew. Do you guys remember back in the day when the greater good was a lot easier than it is now? Well, I got something for you, man. Now you guys can increase your performance and get that extra confidence in bed. BlueChew.com. Blue Chew brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients such as Viagra and Cialis. You can take them anytime, day or night, even on a full stomach, and since they are chewable, they work up to twice as fast as a pill, so you guys can be ready whenever the opportunity arises. If you could benefit from more confidence where it counts, Blue Chew is the fast and easier way to enhance your performance. Blue Chew is prescribed online by licensed physicians, so you guys don't even have to go to the doctor's office or wait in line at the pharmacy, and it ships right to your front door in a very discreet package. They're made in the USA, and since Blue Chew prepares and ships direct, they're cheaper than a pharmacy, and best of all, there's no more awkwardness. Right now, I've got a special deal for everybody listening to Off the Script this afternoon. Visit BlueChew.com and get your first shipment free. Free. Yes, absolutely free when you use our promo code JD at checkout. That's it, man. Capital letters J and D. Again, that's BlueChew.com, code JD to try it for free. Blue Chew is the better, cheaper, and faster choice. I want to thank them, as always, for sponsoring the podcast right here on Off the Script. Become the greater good in the bedroom. Become the greater good in the bedroom. All right, man, let's get back on track here. Let's talk about some Extreme Rules. Now, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. I don't want to bring up bad memories from last Sunday night, but I do have horror show news coming out of the pay-per-view on Sunday. Let's start with Apollo Cruz and the reason why he was absent from Extreme Rules on Sunday. WWE had been hyping up that Apollo Cruz was going to defend the United States Championship against MVP at Extreme Rules on Sunday. Obviously, that did not happen. MVP came to the ring, won by forfeit, apparently, and claimed himself to be the new United States Champion. Tom Phillips came on commentary and said that Cruz was in the building earlier, did not pass his physical, and then the match was canceled. He also mentioned that Cruz has a bulging disc in his back as a result of the full Nelson by Bobby Lashley. WWE had Bobby Lashley and MVP, like I said, come to the ring, joke on Apollo Cruz, declare themselves winners by forfeit, and then he is the new United States Champion. Dave Meltzer noted on the Observer Live that Cruz missed the show because of the coronavirus. That is why Apollo Cruz missed the show. Does he have it? I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and make assumptions, but the one thing I did say on Sunday, boy, I wish WWE would just come out and give us the reason why Apollo Cruz is not at the fucking pay-per-view defending a title on pay-per-view. Bulging disc. He's someone that didn't pass his physical or whatever the fuck they said. Give me a break. And this is why WWE is not taken seriously by anybody watching. Because it's a fucking shit show. They want to insult your intelligence. Why don't you just be real and honest with us? Maybe we'd have more of a liking to what you're doing. Maybe we'd have a new appreciation for you. So that everybody watches this show, WWE looks at you thinking that you're a blithering idiot. You don't know any better. You don't need to know this information. We got to hide this information from everybody and blah, 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 blah. Bulging disc and passing a physical, not passing a physical, whatever the fucking case may be. Give me a break, please. Why don't you just be real with me? If it's COVID, let me know. If it's not, let me know. All I know is Apollo Cruz, as his days are withering down here as United States Champion, that's all I think this is. Apollo Cruz is not going to be the United States Champion coming out of the biggest scam of the summer scam. That's what they're building towards. Now, if it's COVID, we don't know. Apparently, WWE said that he didn't pass his physical. He was in the building earlier that day. He didn't pass his physical. You would think, and I mentioned this on the podcast on Sunday night, you would think somebody would pass this obviously important information over to MVP, who was on the pre-show talking about his match with Apollo Cruz and the United States Championship. I think Mackenzie Mitchell or Kayla Braxton, one of them, interviewed MVP with Bobby Lashley. You would think somebody would have passed this information along to Mr. MVP. I don't understand why not. Because if he was in the building earlier, Apollo Cruz, and he didn't pass his physical, don't you think MVP would have known that the match was not happening? But he pretended like the match was happening anyway? Why don't you just pull the Band-Aid off, please? Just give MVP and Apollo Cruz a match on Raw, which I'm assuming is going to happen because WWE is booking pay-per-view matches on regular TV now in hopes that they boost the ratings, but nobody gives a shit about what's happening on the show now anyway outside of Sasha and Bayley. Who gives a fuck about MVP and Apollo Cruz for the United States Championship? Oh my God, what a pay-per-view-esque match that WWE's promoting on Raw. MVP? Who gives a fuck about MVP on television in 2020 as the United States Champion? I think he's doing great in the role that he's in now, but I mean, my God. WWE thought the nostalgia of Big Show and Randy Orton on Monday Night Raw and an unsanctioned match was going to do something for the ratings. What happened? Nothing. Second worst of all time in the history of Monday Night Raw. Now, if this match happens, it's going to happen, and one thing is going to happen here. Apollo Crews is going to win. He's finally going to get the United States Championship that WWE didn't even have the decency to give to him to unveil, if that's the new championship, the real championship, right? He's going to win this match, and it's going to go right back to Bobby Lashley and MVP. That's it. Because that's, I assume, the match at SummerSlam. Lashley versus Apollo Crews for the United States Championship. WWE is booking Apollo Crews the way that they are because maybe COVID, maybe not COVID, but he was a Paul Heyman guy. He was a Paul Heyman project. He was a guy that Paul Heyman wanted to push on Monday night. That is looked down upon in the Bruce Pritchard era. The failure of the Bruce Pritchard era. So if it's a Paul Heyman thing, more than likely that thing will be removed. Apollo Crews' days as champion are numbered, and back to Titus he goes, sadly. He deserves much better. But that's the reason why he was off Extreme Rules. Dave Meltzer says COVID. I'm not sure that's the case or not. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh yeah, he's got COVID. But one would assume that he hasn't been on the show in weeks, that it would be that. Just like everybody else that you see noticeably absent from these shows. Vince McMahon changed the finish of the Sasha Banks versus Asuka match at the last minute. Now, Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez talked about the change of plans on the Observer Live this week. Meltzer said Asuka was supposed to win the match, and Vince changed his mind. I think it was the day of the show. It was basically a last-minute change. Alvarez added they moved the Jeff Hardy-Sheamus match to television tonight on SmackDown, the bar fight on SmackDown. They're moving big matches to television because the television numbers are doing terribly, says Alvarez. Meltzer said people in the company flipped out when they saw the record low rating for last week's episode of Raw. It looks like WWE obviously is going to continue doing pay-per-view-esque matches on TV to generate interest in the show, just like they did Sasha and Asuka. The announcement by Stephanie McMahon, that's going to be happening on Raw this coming Monday for the Raw Women's Championship. Just like how they gave Kairi Sane and Bayley a match, and Big Show versus Randy Orton a match, and they did the Garza Andrade Street Profits match, but nobody knew. Nobody was given a heads up for that match happening on the show. You found out about it when they had a little picture-in-picture graphic when you were watching Raw. Now, I don't know who's going to be interested in that. Nobody's watching the fucking show nowadays, but I think I would like it if you told me what was going to be on the show before the show actually happened. That's what I think would generate interest in the show. You don't got people watching now anyway, so you might as well switch things up. And I think we'll talk about that tomorrow. I think I'm going to save the big story that I got about USA Network and Fox not being happy with the ratings. I think I'm going to come up with a bullet point plan on how to change Monday Night Raw for the better. We're going to have fun with tomorrow's show. I think that's what I'll do. But Vince McMahon changed the finish of the Sasha Banks-Asuka match. That might be the case. We don't know what the original plan was. I'm hoping to find out what that is sooner rather than later because we're moving on to SummerSlam, so I would like to know what the original plans were, what they changed, what they kept, etc., etc. Now, I'm under the impression that whatever happened on Sunday was exactly the way Sasha Banks wanted it. Sasha Banks wanted. It might not be what Sasha wanted down to the exact little detail, but it is the outcome that Sasha Banks wanted. I would assume here that with Sasha and Bayley, and this feud has been held back several times already. Could have happened at WrestleMania this year. Could have happened at WrestleMania last year. WWE clearly didn't want to go and do that just yet. Now, I'm thinking, I don't know Bayley and Sasha personally, obviously, but I'm thinking that Sasha and Bayley realize what they have here. They realize how good everything is going, and they might prolong this match until they really can't prolong it anymore. SummerSlam, in their eyes right now, might be a little bit too early. So I'm under the impression that whatever happened with Sasha Banks and Asuka, it might not be down to the very last detail, but I do think that the outcome was exactly what Sasha Banks wanted as far as creative, moving on with this Bayley-Sasha feud. Now they got Asuka involved, they got Kairi Sane involved, and whoever else is going to be involved moving forward. And I do think at the end of the day, no matter what's happening with Bayley and Sasha and Bayley have always been two women, especially Sasha, that want things to have a lasting memory. They want it to matter. When you think back from this moment, say 2 years in the future, and you think back to this is more important to Sasha if it means that the women's division is better off for it. Making memories. Having things actually matter as far as progressing a storyline. Instead of just doing something for the sake of doing it because it's cool or it's something politically driven. Let's put this one against that one because it's a great match and there's no backstory to it. Everything has a meaning when Sasha Banks does it. And I honestly think that's more important to that woman than any championship or any big-time match that she could have, and there's no story behind it. I really do think that is what matters most to not only Sasha, but Bayley as well. And they know what they have. They know that there's not going to be many more opportunities for them to be in the ring against each other, and they want it to matter. This may be the last time. This may be the last time that they ever share a ring together in their prime. Probably not. They're very young. But how many more opportunities do you think WWE is going to go to the well and do Sasha versus Bayley? We've seen it already. It's been hinted at for years now. Now we're finally getting it. If you don't do it now and do it right, you may never have another opportunity to do it. So if I'm a betting man here, I'm thinking Sasha Banks and Bayley do have some creative say on this. Now, I don't know what Vince McMahon's original plan was, but maybe Vince had a vision, Sasha had a vision, Vince actually listened to Sasha here and changed some things, but kept the original outcome that Sasha wanted. That they just changed the way to get there. That's why it came off so convoluted. But I do think that Sasha and Bayley do have some creative say in this, but according to Meltzer and Alvarez, they changed the finish of the match. Everybody thought Asuka was going to win that match. Everybody. Everybody thought we were going to get Bayley versus Sasha Banks at SummerSlam, and we were finally going to get the breakup of the golden role models. But we have not gotten there yet. We could still get there. We could very much still get there. For all we know, Sasha could lose this match on Monday, and it could be because of Bayley. And we could get Sasha versus Bayley at SummerSlam, but I think 3 weeks heading into SummerSlam is still not enough time to tell the turmoil there after we get the initial breakup. You know? There's got to be enough time there to then get to the match. You just can't go from one situation and right to SummerSlam. You got to let things breathe. You got to let things manifest for a little bit. So hopefully that's the case. Everybody thought Asuka was going to win that match. But Sasha somehow walked out with the championship, and they played up the fact that she was champion but not officially confirmed to be champion by the company. And I thought it was great. I said it on social media. I think Sasha Banks being the Raw Women's Champion lends this entire situation into being just a little bit more open creatively. I think they got more freedom here with Sasha as the Raw Women's Champion. Granted, it doesn't make sense because she's a SmackDown superstar, but WWE really hasn't done anything as far as explaining anything really on this show. Does that mean that they're tag team champions, that they could split up and have singles runs being that they're tag team champions on another show? They didn't really explain that. So I'm going to throw that one right there. I'm going to put it in my my bag of things to complain about on a rainy day. I don't really care right now because it's the best thing on television that WWE is producing. Whatever happened with Bayley and Sasha in the weeks leading up to this has been the best thing on television. So my little criticisms, I'm going to say for a rainy day. But WWE changed, and I do think at the end of the day, Sasha got what she wanted, what she thought was best for the storyline. And I think with her being the Raw Women's Champion, it does open up for things to be a little bit more creatively intriguing. Like I mentioned, going into this SummerSlam thing, we don't know what Sasha's going to do. They may have another fuck finish, and we may get something at SummerSlam between Asuka and Sasha. We may get something there. Meanwhile, Bayley seems to be teasing something with Stephanie McMahon. Bayley seems to have taken an issue with Stephanie McMahon as of late. I don't know why. We may be getting that. And who knows? WWE might be getting Stephanie McMahon ready for a match against Bayley to bolster ratings. We need to call upon the McMahons like Batman calls upon fucking crime in Gotham. Or Gotham calls upon Batman to fight the crime in Gotham. Let's go to the McMahons because they are the ace in the hole here for the WWE. Things are right on TV when the McMahons are on TV. Shouldn't be that way. Shouldn't be that way. So Monday is going to be very, very interesting with Sasha and Asuka. And the outcome of that match will literally determine everything that happens moving forward into SummerSlam. Kevin Dunn was not happy with his production team during the Sasha Banks-Asuka match. Now, it turns out that there was an issue that Kevin Dunn had a problem with during the match, as seen on the pay-per-view Sunday. The Raw Women's title match between Sasha Banks and Asuka had a questionable finish. Didn't really like the finish. I thought it was very convoluted, but things happened there, and that's the end of the story. The end of the match saw Asuka spray mist into the eyes of the referee before getting laid out, and then she was hit in the back of the head with the championship. Bayley took the referee's shirt, put it on herself, and made the 1-2-3, and Sasha Banks was, I guess, crowned unofficially the Raw Women's Champion. So that was the ending. Bayley put on the referee's shirt, counted the pinfall. Asuka, quote-unquote, loses the championship. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select reports that during the match, there were some production snafus that Kevin Dunn was very upset about. Now, I have the reason why. He says, although there's no word yet on the specific instances, it was noted that Dunn was upset that cameras were catching Bayley in spots that they weren't supposed to be catching Bayley. Now, you want to know what the reason is? I got the reason here. This is an exclusive that even Mr. Sean Ross Sapp doesn't know. The reason why Kevin Dunn was upset is because there was a position of the production team filming something or capturing something, focusing in on something that they shouldn't have focused in on. They held the camera on Bayley too much, and they accidentally caught Asuka and Kairi Sane outside the ring when they were dealing with Bayley, right? They were on the outside of the ring, and the instance right before the missed spot in the referee's eyes, they showed Kairi Sane handing whatever it was to Asuka, handing the mist over to Asuka for her to throw it in her mouth and get ready for the spot. You seen that, so much so that Jesse, my buddy Jesse, who I do AEW Dynamite with on Wednesdays, even texted me when it happened live that he's seen Kairi Sane physically pass the mist to Asuka, and that was caught on camera. You know Kevin Dunn is a perfectionist when it comes to that type of thing. He can be anal. He can be very micromanaging-esque, right? And we know he's a... we know Kevin Dunn to be the leader. We know about him, right? But regardless of all that, all joking aside, Kevin Dunn is very good at his job. There's nobody that does it better. The WWE production team is almost flawless every single time when he's there. But if that is the case, then if I'm Kevin Dunn, I'm actually upset at that too, because that was kind of uncovering the entire situation. We should have never seen Asuka be handed something by Kairi Sane on the outside and then right into the miss spot. They fucked up. And if I'm Kevin Dunn, and I seen that on my pay-per-view, and I know my production team fucked up when they shouldn't have been filming something like that, or out of place and accidentally caught that, I would be upset too. So that's the reason why Kevin Dunn was not happy with his production team during the Sasha Banks Asuka match, the closing moments of that match at Extreme Rules. Vince McMahon was very hands-on with the eye for an eye match at Extreme Rules. Now, we all know Rey Mysterio lost his vision temporarily, but there's a chance he could recover, says Charlie Caruso and WWE management. This was quite the production, and WWE did not use CGI. Mike Johnson noted on PW Insider Elite Audio that the eye for an eye match was not live. So no matter what WWE did, because you know during the match they put the little live graphic in the top right corner of the screen, it was not live. It was taped to be live. It was filmed right before the pay-per-view went on the air at 6 o'clock for the pre-show. So that's, or 6:30, whenever Kevin Owens and Buddy Murphy made their way to the ring. It was filmed a couple of hours before what had happened live with the pre-show and then going on into the Extreme Rules actual show at 7 o'clock. So it was not live, says Mike Johnson. The Swamp Fight was also pre-recorded, but the Eye for an Eye match wasn't taped on location. It was taped prior in the day before the event. So that's that. It was taped on Sunday, whereas the Swamp Fight was taped on Thursday in that same week. Now, Vince McMahon was personally involved in the picking of the weapons that they used. The chairs, the kendo sticks, the ring tool that I believe one of them took out from underneath the ring. Rollins had pulled out a pair of pliers from his jacket before he got to the ring. So McMahon was personally involved in picking all of the weapons for this specific match. He was also involved in laying out how he wanted this to go. McMahon was very hands-on with this match. The match was very much a Vince McMahon creation as we saw it on Sunday at Extreme Rules. Rollins vomiting was also clearly, obviously, a Vince McMahon call because you know how much he loves that kind of grotesque humor. In fact, Rollins puking was probably more disturbing than the eyeball spot with Rey Mysterio. That actually made the eyeball, quote-unquote, popping out look like child's play. With Rollins vomiting up whatever the fuck he vomited up after he seen that Rey Mysterio's eye had popped out of its socket. Now, the match itself was not bad. I will give him that. The match itself was not bad. I thought it was very good for being an actual Extreme Rules-like match, confined in the WWE world. I thought it was fine. But the lack of pinfalls, I will say, kind of hurt the match when they hit those big spots. You would think that normally you go to a pinfall, it builds more intrigue. You know, normally when they hit those big moves in those big spots in the match, they were hindered because they couldn't go and get that intrigue, that interest there via the pinfall. So they just had to go from one big move to the next and then right to pulling out an eye. Or at least trying to pull out an eye. It's not the same by hitting a big move and then going right for a cover and winning the match. They went from hitting a big move, big spot, big sequence, and then trying to pluck each other's eyeball out. Not really the same. So that's what hurt the match in my eyes, in my honest opinion. So he was hands-on with the match. The match itself was fine. Just the lack of being, a referee there able to count a pinfall, I thought was something that took away from the match. Vince McMahon, even though he was very hands-on with the match, he actually hated the finish of the match. Now, according to the latest report, same, by Mike Johnson and PW Insider, WWE had filmed an entire sequence of special effects for this ending to the Eye for an Eye match. But it was all edited out before the show went live as Vince watched it back and he hated it and then opted to go with a change. There were glimpses of a very fake-looking eyeball before Seth Rollins threw up to close this match, but it seems there could have been a lot more special effects to the match if Vince McMahon had not gotten involved. Now, while you may not be, I know I'm not a big fan of Vince McMahon nowadays. Who knows what could have happened if WWE went with the CGI? It could have looked bad. It could have looked good. It could have looked comically bad to the point that it was good. We don't know. And we're never going to know because the Eye for an Eye match is now in the past and Rey Mysterio is on his way to making a full recovery with vision. So we don't know. Rollins followed up with his win over Mysterio by defeating Aleister Black on Raw. PW Insider reports that Rey Mysterio was back at the Performance Center like I talked about on Off the Script Extra. I did an extra on Thursday morning. So make sure you guys go and check that out. Rey Mysterio was at the Performance Center on Raw, but then on Tuesday was in New York and he was at Titan Tower in Stamford, Connecticut negotiating, or at least trying to negotiate a new WWE contract. So that is the latest on Mysterio. We don't know. Apparently, they declined him a raise again. And if that's the case, Mysterio may very well be on his way out of WWE by the end of the summer. So again, we don't know, man. This is one of those things that we're never going to know anything about. It is what it is. I'm just glad it's over with. And I don't know what they're doing with Rollins now. The gimmick is fine. The character is fine. It fits him. He's playing it very well. But I just don't understand the lack of explanation in anything that's going on. We don't know what the greater good is. We don't know why Rey Mysterio was targeted to be vanquished for the greater good. I don't know. Why is Aleister Black backing up Rey Mysterio? That was not discussed. That was not explained via Aleister Black. He has not come out and personally stated anything in regards to why he's sticking up for Rey Mysterio or why he's fighting alongside Rey Mysterio. What's his alliance with Humberto Carrillo? Why are they buddies? Why does Aleister Black give a fuck about Humberto Carrillo? None of this was described. None of this was explained. And then on Monday Night Raw, we got Aleister Black versus Seth Rollins again for what? The 9th time on Raw? In some way, shape, or form. Whether it's a tag team match, a one-on-one match. How many times? That should have been a match that hasn't been touched yet. That should have been your SummerSlam match. Now they took out Aleister Black's arm on Monday night. What are we going to get? An arm for an arm match? We're going to get an arm wrestling match at SummerSlam? Aleister Black has been humanized to a point where he feels like everybody else. He feels like a Humberto. He feels like a nobody. He feels irrelevant. So that's WWE there. So I don't know what's going on. I just want explanation for what is going on. And we don't have any. We really don't have any. But McMahon hated the eye for an eye match ending. He was hands-on with it. And we'll never know what CGI was supposed to be. Now, McMahon reportedly, even though he hated the end for an eye match, McMahon reportedly loved the swamp fight at Extreme Rules. It was reported that Vince McMahon, hated the match, the ending of the match with Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio, but Sportskeeda is reporting that McMahon was a big fan of the swamp fight between Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. Now, Sportskeeda said that McMahon's appreciation for the main event showed. He was ecstatic backstage. Lots of news going around that McMahon hated the eye for an eye original finish at Extreme Rules, but for what it's worth, he apparently loved the swamp fight, says Sportskeeda. Now, I thought the swamp fight was fucking terrible. They did anything but fight. It was a therapy session and a D-level fucking indie film rolled into one. That's all it was. I thought I was watching something produced by some fucking geek trying to get admission into the Sundance Film Festival. It was fucking stupid. We got Braun Strowman fighting everybody but Bray Wyatt. We got like 30 seconds of fighting, and then he was fighting everybody but Bray Wyatt. We fought Braun Strowman with the goons that came out of the forest. We got Braun Strowman with his infatuation with Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss was seen there dressed as Sister Abigail. I'm assuming Sister Abigail is now the one who encompasses all of Braun Strowman's fears, right? I didn't really understand anything that was going on there that's pertinent to what's going on with the feud. We all knew what was going on. And then they took something out of fucking Jason and Crystal Lake. Bray Wyatt drowned. And then he comes back as the Fiend. And then he drags Braun Strowman into the fucking swamp. Okay, great. I knew this was going to happen. We all knew this was going to happen. You went from Mr. Rogers Bray Wyatt to the Eater of Worlds Bray Wyatt, only to get Eater of Worlds Bray Wyatt to fucking be killed off once and for all because you never give a shit about that gimmick anyway, only to give us the Fiend at SummerSlam. And what happens when the Fiend goes into SummerSlam and wins the Universal Championship? What does WWE have lined up for Bray Wyatt? What baby faces do they have lined up for Bray Wyatt? I can't think of any. Two off the top of my head, but that's about it. One of which we've seen already. And we don't even know his contract situation. We don't even know if he wants to be at the Performance Center because he's got a new kid on the way. Daniel Bryan. So you know he's not going to be on TV. He's not going to be going into SummerSlam against The Fiend for the Universal Championship. What about Jeff Hardy? Jeff Hardy's legal woes got pushed back. His court dates got pushed back. Is WWE going to give him an opportunity at the WWE Universal Championship, knowing that he probably doesn't want to re-sign with the company? But they got no other baby faces. Jeff Hardy and Bray Wyatt could be an interesting feud. Jeff Hardy and Bray Wyatt have given a certain level of creativity to use on TV and really go and have fun with. They could present something and create something very intriguing and very interesting. Something different on a show that is filmed with formulaic fucking nonsense. Give me a break. Bray Wyatt winning the Universal Championship should not even be a thing at SummerSlam, as he should already be the Universal Champion. But WWE dropped the ball again with Bray Wyatt. I mentioned this on my OTS Extra when I did it on Thursday and uploaded it to YouTube. Go and check it out. It's on the channel. There was a story there about Bray Wyatt becoming a babyface and WWE having plans for Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, to be a babyface. Now, I'm not going to write him off. If there's anybody that could do it, it's Bray Wyatt. I said the same thing when Bray Wyatt teamed with Roman Reigns many years ago on Monday Night Raw. I believe it was against the Nation, the League of Nations. I'm going to say Nation of Domination. The League of Nations. I don't know who was in the match. Was it Del Rio or Rusev or whatever the fuck was there during that time? The League of Nations simply existed to get Roman Reigns over. It was a big political fucking thing to get Roman Reigns over. Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns teamed up together against the League of Nations on Monday Night Raw. And he played a babyface role better than I could have ever imagined. WWE clearly did not pursue that, and Bray Wyatt was ultimately killed off in the following year. So if there's anybody to do it, it's Bray Wyatt. Do I see The Fiend as a babyface? No, I don't. But if they're going to turn Bray Wyatt, The Fiend, into a babyface to go after heels, then it might make sense. I don't know how they go about that. Bray Wyatt normally is somebody that goes out there and gets babyface reactions anyway because of how cool he looks. But that doesn't necessarily make it right. And when does WWE ever give a shit about what the fans want? They turned Bray Wyatt into a babyface at a Hell in a Cell against Seth Rollins. They just didn't know it then because they're fucking stupid. And they turned Seth Rollins into a heel. They also didn't know it then either because they're fucking stupid. But Bray Wyatt as a babyface, I don't know, man. They even nixed plans. This may be legit. They nixed plans for Bray Wyatt to feud with Otis. Now, whether that was for the briefcase or not, I don't know. But they had plans in place, and now those are canceled. Did Braun Strowman go into the lake? Did Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, pull him down into the lake? Is he going to be transformed? Is he going to be a different version of Braun Strowman? Is he going to be a heel, Braun Strowman, coming now, emerging from the lake of uncertainty, the whatever the fucking lake was there during the swamp fight? We don't know. We may get roles reversed at SummerSlam. So that's the big story. Vince loved it, but I didn't like it. I thought it was one of the weakest things on the entire show. And actually, I thought it was the weakest of the cinematic matches that WWE has done. I thought everything else that they did was better. I thought Adam Cole versus Velveteen Dream was better. I thought Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa was fucking superior. That was probably the best one in my eyes because of the realism that was there. The cinematic match with The Undertaker and AJ Styles, the best thing on WrestleMania. The best thing that WWE has done at WrestleMania in years. In years. This was the weakest of the cinematic matches. Bray Wyatt had heavy influence on this thing and heavy influence in directing everything that happened there. Vince was said to not be involved at all in the production of the swamp fight at Extreme Rules. I didn't like it. It's going to be a very interesting situation on how WWE follows up the swamp fight with Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman, leading to their inevitable match at SummerSlam. And the only reason why we're getting this match again is because of WWE just not being able to book anybody else in that top role on the brand for Bray Wyatt to go up against. Or in Braun Strowman's case, they haven't done anything to build any credible challengers for Braun Strowman either. As the weeks go by and we get to SummerSlam, it's becoming incredibly evident that Braun Strowman is nothing more than a long-winded transitional champion. They had no plans for Braun Strowman to be Universal Champion. That is becoming obvious as the weeks go by. Instead of using some level of creativity to make sense of a bad situation, WWE took the easy road out and gave somebody that shouldn't even ever, in this case, in my case, be a champion in WWE. They gave the worst case scenario an easy bye to a championship reign. What has Braun Strowman done for the Universal Championship? Nothing. What has the Universal Championship done for Braun Strowman? Has it made him a better performer? Has it made him a better-looking champion or a better-looking performer in the eyes of the fans? No. In fact, people still feel the same way that they did about Braun Strowman last year and the year before that. Tired, formulaic, just a big guy in WWE, and he does cool shit. He runs fast. He destroys sets. He flips over ambulances. Nothing's changed. It's the same shtick. Braun Strowman now is worse off than he ever was. And WWE just gave him something that he feels he deserves, but in actuality, he doesn't deserve shit. He doesn't deserve shit. Bray Wyatt doesn't deserve to have the Universal Championship taken away from him in February for fucking Goldberg. Imagine the situation we would be in if WWE didn't make that terrible creative decision then. That's what it should have been. Bray Wyatt still going into SummerSlam as the Universal Champion. That's what it should have been. Fox and USA Network. I'm going to save this for tomorrow. They're growing very impatient with WWE and their declining ratings. I want to make a big deal about this. I want to come up with a bullet point presentation on how to change Monday Night Raw. But there is reports that they're not happy with WWE's declining ratings, and it's only going to get worse, folks. What happens when the NFL comes back in September? What happens when baseball season bleeds on into September and October and we got playoff baseball on TV? What about the NBA and the tournament leading to the NBA Finals? What about the NHL tournament that's going on right now? Or about to happen. I don't know if that's going on, but it's going to happen. Sports, NHL, MLB, NBA, and football all happening at the same time. You think WWE's ratings are going to survive that? You think a 1.5 or 1.6 is bad now? Wait till WWE's drawing 1.3s and 1.4s. What's going to happen then? It's going to get to a point where WWE is drawing in 3 hours the same amount as NXT and AEW combined. Not a good look. Not a good look for the flagship show of WWE. The biggest brand in all of pro wrestling, right? Awful. You should be embarrassed. One of the things that needs to change is Vince McMahon needs to fucking be removed. His influence, his heavy influence needs to be removed. Any influence of Vince McMahon where it overtakes literally every aspect of the show needs to be removed. But this is what we get when the XFL closed down. Vince McMahon had nothing else to do. So obviously he was going to go back and micromanage WWE. At least with the XFL around and the short season that it was, Vince McMahon's attention would have been on that. And the reason why we're getting what we got right now is because he's got nothing else to worry about. He's got nothing else to occupy his time with. WWE creative are scrambling most weeks to please Vince McMahon during Raw and during the tapings. If that doesn't tell you this show is in the shithole it's in, I don't know what will. They're here to please. They're scrambling to please Vince McMahon. Instead of scrambling to please me and you, they're scrambling to please Vince McMahon. And is Vince McMahon scrambling to please us? Of course not. Vince McMahon is scrambling to please Vince McMahon. The vicious cycle that is WWE creative, folks. Instead of pleasing us and scrambling to please us by making sense of what happens on the show, they don't want anything to do with us because they think we're going to watch anyway. And I got a cold, hard fucking truth ready to slap you right in the face, man. Nobody's watching. And you think the ratings are bad now, like I said, watch when the 1.2s and the 1.3s start filtering in. What are we going to do then? What are we going to do then? Bray Wyatt's laugh is not going to be a suitable soundbite on the show. Honestly. It's not going to be a suitable enough soundbite on the fucking show. Because it's downright scary. And it's downright pathetic that you're putting your entire roster in the position that you're putting them in. And then you have the balls to blame them that they're the reason for the failing ratings. No, there's only one man. There's only one man to blame here, and that's Vince McMahon. And then you can blame Bruce as well because he's just as bad as Vince McMahon. They're scrambling to please Vince McMahon. Now, this is what is being reported. Now, we already know that WWE is going into SummerSlam. They have Drew McIntyre as the WWE champion. We already know that a major angle involving Drew McIntyre as WWE champion, which was supposed to set up a big SummerSlam feud, was held back on Monday Night Raw. I think if you watch the show, you know what I'm talking about. Instead of getting Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre coming out of Extreme Rules and building to that match at SummerSlam, WWE is prolonging Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler for whatever reason, and they're going to do Randy Orton and Dolph Ziggler, or I guess Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre coming out of that Dolph Ziggler match on Monday's Raw, I am assuming. Because if they don't do it, then we'll be pushing for 2 weeks going into SummerSlam with no WWE Championship match, no main event for SummerSlam. The Performance Center was reported to be hectic during the last set of tapings. Ringside News is reporting that members of the creative team were just trying to pitch ideas that would appease Vince McMahon. It was so hectic that they were not given the proper environment to write a show that makes sense, that it came down to a point where either the show wasn't done, or they were coming close to showtime when they had to record, and Vince McMahon needed something, and they were like, I'm throwing my hands in the air, let's just do something that's going to appease Vince McMahon and get him off of our backs because we're tired of the rewrites. We're tired of the banter and the bickering. I don't like this. Let's change this. What's this? Let me change that. Instead of pleasing us, instead of giving these guys time to write a show, which is fucking ridiculous in its own right. These shows that you see on Raw, last week was taped. Next week is taped. During this entire 2-week stretch, where are these shows? Why aren't these shows being written meticulously down to the very last detail? You got all these days to write a fucking show. How difficult could it be to piece together a show? Cut a promo for this guy, write a promo for this guy, come up with a storyline going into SummerSlam. It's right in front of you. I came up with a SummerSlam card a week and a half ago. How difficult could it be? Right. You know, Paul Heyman said one thing that always stuck with me. You know, he always said, write the conclusion first, and then everything else should be a lot easier to write. If WWE knew what they wanted to do at SummerSlam, it would be a lot easier for them to book the 4 weeks of television, 5 weeks of television, however many weeks of television there is to the pay-per-view, and get to the pay-per-view. They don't do that. They book with absolutely no plan in mind, and then they expect TV to be good. And then they piece together a SummerSlam card that sometimes will make sense, sometimes will not. Endings won't make sense. Something might show up on the show that's good. But most of the time, it's going to end up being terrible. WWE, imagine not giving your writing staff time to write a show, and then they're left with nothing but, let's appease Vince McMahon. What about us? You don't think the fan base is frustrated? The fan base is leaving in record numbers faster than I could ever imagine or ever remember. But you want to appease Vince McMahon. How about this? How about fuck Vince McMahon and stop appeasing somebody that doesn't give a shit about the fucking show? Stand up for what's right. Enough is enough. You know how frustrating it is to watch a show that you look back at 3 hours and say, what the fuck did I watch on a Monday night? Why did I waste my time? Why doesn't this make sense? Why doesn't that make sense? And I'm scratching my head over watching Monday Night Raw. Never mind the Aleister Black situation. Why are we getting Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre again? The guy's a loser. He lost. You expect me to think that Dolph Ziggler, after picking a stipulation and can't beat Drew McIntyre, deserves another title shot after losing on Sunday? What about Andrade and Garza? That was your SummerSlam Tag Team title match. Are you giving it away on TV? Why did you give it away on TV? Instead of building a storyline for these two teams. Instead, you gave that match away, and now, since you made the outcome the way it was on Monday, where they lost, now they don't deserve a tag team title match. Now you got a book, and I'm sure WWE's going to do this because they got nobody else on the fucking show. Now they're going to book a reason to give Andrade and Garza another rematch. But they lost on TV. I can't erase that from my memory. I watched them in the ring against the Street Profits with Montez Ford going up top and frog splashing somebody down to the mat. 1, 2, 3. They lost. Clean. So why on earth would they be the number one contenders for the tag team championships after they just beat the Viking Raiders twice? Once in a regular tag team match and then in an elimination match. And then you don't realize how that is detrimental to the Viking Raiders. The Viking Raiders lost to these guys twice, and then they go into this match losing in a non-title match. Not only does that take them out of title contention, but you just ruined the other tag team that you had on the show by having them lose twice. You don't realize that every action that you every action that you do has a fucking consequence. Has a terrible reaction to something you did 2 weeks ago. But you don't give a shit. You don't care. This is why I'm so frustrated. You're scrambling to appease Vince McMahon. You need to start scrambling to appease us. Appease us. And this is why I'm so for the ratings continue to go down and down and down. I want them to continue going down and down. Because at that point, Vince is going to be forced to appease us. Because who's going to be left watching? Something's obviously wrong. People are obviously not watching for some reason. What could that reason be? Because the television sucks, folks. Enough is enough. People know when their intelligence is being insulted. People know that nostalgia is not what I want. I want to see a legit sports program. And how is WWE going to counter an MLB season that's going from a 60-game season right into the playoffs, and an NBA tournament, and an NHL tournament, and the football season coming back? How is WWE going to combat that? By doing pay-per-view matches? No, it's not going to work on regular TV. Somebody gives a shit about the people in those pay-per-view matches to begin with, because they haven't given a shit about any aspect of your show. Now, how do people know it's a good show when nobody's watching? A good show can happen next week for all we know. For 3 hours, I could come on here and say, Monday Night Raw was the best it's been in 6 months. Who's going to know? Nobody's watching. Nobody's watching. I said it on Twitter. I'm going to say it here again. I guarantee you, you could mark my words, mark this video down. I could be right, I could be wrong, but I'm making a bold prediction right now. By the end of the year, Bruce Pritchard will be fired. Bruce Pritchard will be fired going into 2021. If this gets worse. He got the position and Vince thought, oh my God, let's get rid of Paul Heyman. Instead of giving Paul Heyman the reins to run Monday Night Raw and actually fix the right here, or fix the ship, right the ship, you're going to go back and do what was detrimental to the show all these years prior. You're writing the show in the same way that you wrote the shows in years past. And look at the ratings. Every single year they've gotten worse. This is absolutely the worst it's ever been. And they have nobody to blame but themselves. Ringside News was told by a creative team member who's currently at the Performance Center that they are rewriting a ton of things because superstars are not there. Okay, so what you do when superstars are not there, then you come up with other superstars to fill in. You don't need to have a pay-per-view that's 7 hours long, and you don't need to have a pay-per-view at SummerSlam that is 16 matches deep. If you give me 5 or 6 good matches with who you have, I'll take it. I'll take it. Stop with the quantity over quality. If you don't have somebody there, fuck them. Work with who you have. WWE is scrambling to get everything on the show, everybody on the show. Got to fill 3 hours. Got to fill SummerSlam out for 14 matches. Nobody wants to see that. And if you don't have the people that you want there and you're short-staffed, then write with who you got. Write with who you got. This is why you are a creative writer. Think on your feet. You didn't get into the business of creative writing to say, oh my God, I don't have this guy or I don't have this character. Let me throw my hands in the air and say, fuck it, I'll just leave it in God's hands. No, you come up with a reason to get from point A. If you got to be something on point A and point A is not going to work out, you always got to have a plan B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, Humberto. Make a reason for us to care with who you got. Everybody is understanding that everybody might be out. They might be working short-staffed. But Jesus Christ, show me some fucking emphasis on creative writing. Show me some people that have not been used on the show. Show me why you love what you do. All I see is a show dwindling into nothing. And I feel like this is not the worst we've seen from Monday Night Raw. They are at the Performance Center writing a ton of shit because superstars are not there. They were also told that there's a lot of second guessing going on and no one is confident in any vision as they are all just looking to see what Vince McMahon doesn't reject and then scrambling to appease Vince. Then they go on to say, holy hell, it must be Monday. A lot to tweet, says Ringside News. A full quote will be in the exclusive going out on the website. WWE is scrambling just to make Vince happy with a script. Tons of stress, second guessing everything, and no one is confident in any creative vision for Raw. Then you want to know why USA Network and Fox are losing their patience with Vince McMahon. It's terrible. It really is terrible. Vince McMahon reportedly is not concerned about the sinking ratings. Even after all of this, he's not concerned about the sinking ratings for Raw and SmackDown. Now, when Raw announced Big Show versus Randy Orton, we all knew why they did what they did. We knew why it would be taking place and not at Extreme Rules. It was in an effort to boost viewership on Monday Night Raw. Many people speculated that Vince McMahon would be incredibly unhappy if the TV ratings continue to fall. Even with that, a recent report indicates, interestingly, that Vince McMahon is okay with the ratings where they are, and he is expecting the ratings to go up. WrestlingNews.co is reporting that Vince McMahon is not worried about the falling ratings, and reportedly neither are USA Network and Fox. That's a lie. That is a lie. Here's what the site said on the matter, and I quote, "While some people in the WWE worry that the numbers could continue to drop, Vince McMahon has shrugged off low numbers. WrestlingNews.co was told that McMahon feels that the numbers will get back up over 2 million after SummerSlam because he believes the fans will be back at the shows in September." Vince McMahon thinks that fans will be back in shows or back attending shows in September. Folks, Vince McMahon is absolutely fucking mental. My brother texted me. It's Thursday afternoon. He texted me earlier in the afternoon and said MLB is, at the start of the season, going to implement virtual fans in attendance during all games. The NFL is going to be happening with no fans in attendance. The NBA will have no fans in attendance. And you mean to tell me that WWE is going to have fans in attendance? Fans in attendance at WWE shows is what Vince McMahon is hoping for by September. There will not be one single fan at any pro wrestling shows for the duration of 2020. With the vaccine hopefully to come in December, according to the news, that's all people are worried about. And if that happens, maybe we'll get back to normal at the start of WrestleMania season. Maybe. Then you run into an issue with distributing the vaccine, who and how and where you could get the vaccine. Nobody knows what's going to happen. But Vince McMahon thinks by September, everything's going to be good to go. Nothing will be good to go. And if WWE is going up against all four of those major sports with championship implications in a shortened season due to what's going on, their ratings will be worse than ever. No one is going to care. People have been without. This is where it's going to backfire on WWE. People have been without their beloved MLB and their beloved NFL and their beloved NBA and NHL. They've been living in captivity. They've been away from human interaction for 5 months now, with things still closed down and restrictions at all-time highs. Now you're bringing back something that everybody dearly missed in major sports here in the United States, with WWE failing at trying to generate any interest in what they're doing. You mean to tell me with the shit product that you're putting on and the sports that have been missed on TV all of these months, now coming back, Vince thinks that people are going to opt to watch WWE over those sports with those implications on the line? Vince is as dumb as I think he is. And the fucked up thing is nobody is there to tell Vince that he's wrong. Nobody, even if they are, nobody will stand up to Vince and tell him he's wrong. This company is absolutely out to lunch. They are I truly believe, WWE are the dumbest bunch of fucking idiots that I've ever seen run a wrestling company. Nobody is there to tell them what needs to be done. Nobody is there to tell them this is how it's going to be. They live in their own fucking bubble. Nothing exists outside the WWE bubble. They are in for a rude fucking awakening. A rude awakening. And I'm not talking about ravishing. They're in for a rude awakening. And you know what? I'll be here with my fucking sunglasses on, with my cold beverage in my hand, laughing as Rome burns. Because they deserve it. And it's the only, and I say that because, listen, I don't say that because I want to see WWE fail. I need WWE to exist. I need WWE to do good. I need WWE to start generating some interest as far as the fans go, because the more interest in the product, the more interest people have in shows like us. Shows in the community. Everything is down. I don't don't say that because I want WWE to fail. Ha 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 ha. Without them, I don't have a fucking job. But I want Rome to burn because that's the only way that they'll learn their lesson. And maybe they get pushed back from Fox. Maybe they get pushed back from the USA Network. Maybe. But WWE is in for one rude awakening. Honestly. Now, some people in the company are worried that the numbers could continue to drop. Vince McMahon shrugged off the low numbers. Over 2 million is what Vince thinks by September. Fans will be back in attendance by September. A WWE source said Vince is doing what he can by putting on pay-per-view matches on Raw and SmackDown, but USA and Fox are happy and everyone knows things will get better when we get some kind of people back in arenas. This is what he thinks right now, and he's not sweating these numbers. Just take everything I just told you guys and apply it there. He's in for one big-ass fucking rude awakening. WWE initially reportedly had plans to have fans back in attendance this month for SummerSlam. Not happening. Those plans obviously were postponed. It will be interesting to see how or if Vince McMahon's response to the ratings changes if fans are not back by September in the arenas. During Wrestling Observer Radio, this was by Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez. Meltzer explained exactly what WWE's mindset is for their weekly ratings. The focus is largely off building towards their next big event. Now they're trying to figure out what they can do to boost ratings week to week. Now you put yourself in a position where you're desperate for ratings and you're doing whatever you can, throwing shit at a wall and hopefully having it stick. That's what WWE is doing. Meltzer says so much is done for this week and next week's television tapings, not stuff like building stories or certainly building new talent, which would help the ratings in the long term. It's just getting familiar guys on TV in some form with big matches thrown in the show. WWE, they're in way over their heads, man. They truly, I read all this stuff, man. I smile, I laugh at how someone like me on a platform like this can book and make sense of everything better than anybody in that entire company. Yet, I'll have people like fucking Road Dogg and everybody else claiming that, I want to be a part of the business, I want to be in with them and this and that. Meanwhile, I'm doing their job better than they could ever do their job. It's pathetic. How you got podcasters and people in the YouTube community doing their jobs better, saying what needs to be said, but nobody will dare bring this shit to Vince McMahon. Shame on you. Start taking the fans and treating them with respect instead of taking them for granted. One day, you're going to need us to show back up, and when nobody shows up and your ratings are at all-time lows, worse than they are now, and your attendance figures are never going to be the same, I want to see who you blame then. There won't be anybody left for Vince McMahon to fire. Because he would have fired everybody because of things that he expected and things that he hoped that didn't come. Because he thought he was right. And ever since we've seen the decline, I've been telling you what's wrong with the fucking show. Nobody wants to listen. Nobody wants to listen. You want to pretend everything is sunflowers and fucking rainbows and beautiful fucking blue skies. Nothing is right on this show. Stop supporting garbage. The more you speak up about what we see, the better it will be in the end. Just like how WWE should be pushing new talent for the long term, the ratings will go up in the long run. Stop supporting garbage. Wrestle Talk gave Extreme Rules a 4 out of 5. A 4 out of 5. I didn't give the King of the Ring in 1993 a 4 out of fucking 5. I didn't give One Night Stand in 2006 a 4 out of fucking 5. A 4 out of 5? How anybody could watch them and take them seriously with a straight face? You gotta be fucking mental. They're what's wrong with the product. They're what's wrong with the community. Places like that. You think I say I'm the greater good and I'm the fucking savior of the YWC, IWC? Nobody's doing what I'm doing. I'm fighting this shit by myself. Unreal. I'm going to end with that. I'm done. This company sucks. People in this community that support this fucking trash, knowing it's trash, you're just as bad as the people writing this fucking show. You are the Vince McMahon of the fucking community. I'm done. Thank you guys so very much for joining me here on the podcast. If you enjoyed anything, that you've seen or heard here, please let me know. Sound off down below. I'd appreciate if everybody goes and gets a t-shirt, man. Support the t-shirt. Got some new designs coming out. I might have a new Negan design, like I said. I might have a new Summer Scam design out. Got to get Salrex on that. So make sure you guys go and support via the t-shirts. Bonfire. Link is down below in the comment section, pinned at the very top. Follow me on Twitter, man, at JD from NY206. That's on Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. Patreon.com, always there if you guys want to support. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. Check out all the other content down in the description. And if you're listening on iTunes, I'd love if you guys leave some support. Leave a 5-star rating. Leave me a nice comment. I'll shout you out on the show here tomorrow. Thank you guys so very much. I'm going to get ready and enjoy the rest of my evening. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the podcast. I'll be back on Saturday with more right here on Off the Script. We're going to talk about how to fix Monday Night Raw as Fox and USA are reportedly losing patience with WWE and Vince McMahon. We'll go over it and we'll come up with a bullet point presentation on how to fix Monday Night Raw. Hope to see you guys then. See you guys later.